Hi everybody, today we are going to talk about kindness. We talked about classroom rules yesterday, and the first thing that we talked about was listening and what it looked like to listen. Today we're going to talk a little bit about kindness, and I know that you guys know what kindness is. So as we're reading our story today, I want you to think about how some of these things are kind and some of them are not so kind. Our story is called How Full is Your Bucket? Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away, you're too little." Do you think that was kind? "Stay back, you'll knock it over. I'm big. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby dolls, Anna." Oh, look at Anna. Let's get this a little bit closer so you can see better. Look at Anna. Is she feeling very happy inside? She drew a picture of her brother and she scribbled all over it. And what did she do? She got upset and she said whack. She whacked his tower and knocked it all over. Was that very kind? "Grandpa!" Felix yelled. Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad, but when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Well, sometimes." Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was just joking. But the next morning, when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating over his head. Look at that bucket, you guys. Do you think that that's a real bucket or an imaginary bucket? When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning, and it is almost time to go. Anna, sit still." She's trying to brush Anna's hair. And look at Felix. He's trying to grab the cereal. And it goes all over. Oh no, it goes spilling onto the floor. Felix slipped and the cocoa wheat scattered across the floor. "Felix," yelled his mom, "you should have used the stool to reach for that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible droplets spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha ha," Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoes. Drip. "Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus," scolded his mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the cocoa wheats and he grabbed his last blueberry muffin, but before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip! "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like that." Drip! So look at Felix's bucket, you guys. When he woke up this morning, it was about halfway full, and all of the things that make him feel bad, he keeps losing his drips. His water keeps dripping out. Oh, look at this. He says, "Watch out, shrimp." And another drip falls out. These are just not very kind things to say. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt very empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped that they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. So look at Felix's face. His bucket is getting empty, and he looks kind of grumpy. So when people are mean to you, does that make you feel kind of grumpy? Not so good about yourself? Felix slumped into his seat and he waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bubblenickel walked slowly up to her desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with your class?" Felix grinned and he felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Oh, look at his teacher give him a compliment and now he's getting a drop back. So do you think that maybe when you give people compliments it makes them feel good about themselves? I do too. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and they oohed at all of the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. So look at, they're giving him lots of good compliments and his bucket is filling right back up. Drop. He shared lunch with a friend. Mom wrote him a note. Drop. The team captain picked him to be on his team to play soccer. Drip. His art teacher told him that he liked his painting. Drip. And look at, she likes his new backpack. All of these things are filling his bucket back up. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. And at recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else has a bucket too. Look at all those buckets above the kids' heads. Oh, look at, he's helping somebody. He's helping them pick up their papers. He goes, drop, drop. That made both of them feel good. Oh, now they're going to play catch. He says, here's your baseball, catch it. And he goes, thanks, dude. And they both get a drop. So when you give someone else a compliment, it makes you feel good and it makes them feel good. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped someone else get in their bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. So he was feeling good about himself too. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have an invisible bucket too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom can fix her." Wah! Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks? Oh, he's filling her bucket. And so they did. The end. That was a great story, you guys. So let's think about it. Look above you. Do you see an invisible bucket up there? Do you see a bucket above your head? No, I don't either. But that is just, the story is talking about how you feel inside. When someone is nice to you and when they are kind, it makes you feel good and your bucket gets full. But when somebody makes you feel bad, it goes down and your bucket starts to droop, right? So that's why one of our classroom's rules is to be kind to our friends, because we want all of our friends in our classroom to feel like they have a full bucket all the time. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.